Hi, this is Oddly Noted, and today we are talking about shifting on the violin and the viola. The first step in shifting is being able to hold your instrument without the help of your left hand. For me, this means resting my instrument on my collarbone and filling in the gap with a shoulder pad. Can you touch your nose? Yes, I can. Okay. The next step in terms of shifting is being able to open and close your elbow and also get around the instrument. In order to do this, hold your instrument, start in first position with your hand, and then I want you to touch your pinky all the way to your nose. Good. This is the path that your hand will need to travel as it goes up the instrument and navigates around the shoulder of the instrument right here. You'll notice that in order to touch my pinky to my nose, I actually have to turn my hand versus if I were to touch my first finger to my nose, which isn't shifting at all. The next step in learning how to shift is to open and close that elbow. So as you're going up, notice that this is the thing that opens and closes. Good. Try that about 10 times in order to get used to the feeling of using your big muscles to open and close your elbow. Good. The next thing you need to know in terms of shifting is that shifting happens on top of the string. Two common errors that happen in shifting is when a student is pressing too hard with their finger, which creates too much friction and doesn't allow you to hear the note as you're getting to it. The other one is just simply jumping, which isn't a type of shifting at all. It's just a lot of guesswork. In order to shift, you'll need to skate on top of the string with your fingers. Let's try that. With our first finger, go all the way up to the shoulder of the instrument and back down. So you're just going to be skating on top of the instrument. You'll actually hear sort of a whooshing sound as you do this. Try it with your second finger. And then your third and fourth. Good. This should feel really easy and it shouldn't be all that hard. Just concentrate on closing and opening your elbow as you do this. The next step is that we're going to introduce our bow in order to make sure that we're sliding on top of the string and not too much in it and not jumping. Let's start with our second finger. We're going to play a real note and it's going to sound beautiful. Good. Now I want you to play on top of the string. It's not going to sound very beautiful. In order to give us a reference, I'm going to call this first note a real note and the second note that we're playing on top of the string a fake note. Let's hear both of them back to back. Let's try it with our first finger. So we're going to do a real note and then a fake note. Let's try it with our third finger now. Make sure that when you play your fake note, it's really just on top of the string. Now let's try the fourth finger. Let's go ahead and shift from first position into third position using our first finger. This is a really simple exercise that I do with all of my shifts, just to make it a lot easier on me. So we're going to start out with the first position, first finger. We're going to do two notes. The first one is a real note, the second one is a fake note. Good. Now we're going to shift up to a D. This is where you normally put your third finger in first position. So this is what it sounds like. So that's the note we have to get to. So put your first finger where you normally put your third finger. Good. Now we're going to do a real note and a fake note here. Fake note. Good job. Now we're going back to the first position with the first finger. Play two notes again, real note, fake note on the first finger. Now we're going to the third position. Try it. Good. Now that we have both notes in our heads, we're going to go ahead and shift from the first position to the third position, making sure that we slide on top of the string once we have that fake note. So this is what it'll look like. Real note, fake note, and we're going to slide until we hear the D. Then we're going to put our first finger back down on the string and play a real note, fake note. And then And we're going to shift back down. A real note, fake note. As we travel from the first position to the third position, you should be able to hear when you arrive at the D. This is what it'll sound like in slow motion. Here's my real note, and here's my fake note. And as I lift my finger on top of the string, I close my elbow until I hear the D in tune, and then I put my finger back down on the instrument to play a real note. Now I want a fake note. And then I go back down as I go on top of the string until I hear the B in tune, and then I put my finger back down once I arrive. And then a fake note, and then shift up, and a back down. Good. Make sure while you're doing this, you're opening and closing from the elbow and not using your wrist to do it. As you're practicing this, you can try this on different strings as well as different fingers. Let's try the third finger on the D string now. We're going to be shifting from a G all the way up to a B in third position. This is what it sounds like. Now that we have that in our ears, let's try the first note with a real note and a fake note. Fake note, and then move and close your elbow until you hear a B, and then play that note. And a fake note, and ready to go back down. Here we go all the way back to G. And all the way up to B. Make sure while you're doing these exercises that you're not jumping and that you're making sure to stay on top of the string. That's all for the basics of shifting from one finger to the same finger. In order to learn how to shift from one finger to a different finger, check out the video below that includes some extra exercises on how to shift more efficiently. Thanks!